Hola chicos, aquí tengo el video para Unidad 3, Lección 2 de Español 2. Estamos hablando del pretérito y algunos de los verbos irregulares. Toda la información está en página 173. So we are going to focus on preterite, specifically some of the irregular forms in the preterite tense. So our focus for this video and our goal is to learn 5 verbs with irregular preterite stems. Then we'll practice these verbs to communicate past events and tell how long ago they happened. Recuerdas. A little bit of review for you here. Just so that you know, we have actually studied the preterite. So this isn't anything brand new. We're just going to focus on 5 new irregular forms. So we first started with our regular preterite on page 65. Then we jumped to ER and IR preterite, which is nice. Remember, those have the exact same endings. That is all on page 95 if you need to review. So ask yourself, do you remember the endings for the preterite? Make sure you review this because we are recycling this information as we continue to talk about past events. So make sure you brush up if you need to. Also, recuerdas. We have actually focused on some of the irregular ones, so this isn't anything new either. So we did focus on 5 verbs back on page 70. So in that chapter, we chunked them into ir and ser. Those were our twin verbs. Dar and ver, I referred to those as the rhymers. And the verb hacer also was one of the stem changers. So we did focus on one stem changer and a few other irregular verbs in the past. So to link your learning to that, make sure you review those because it's going to be similar to what we did there. All right, a little bit of English grammar connection. To form the past tense of irregular verbs in English, we do have some irregular ones in English, believe it or not. You're actually not going to form them by using the regular ed ending. So for example, if I want to say, currently I water my plants, but if I'm talking about something I did yesterday or last week or last summer, I would have to say I watered. So I'd add that ed. When I have irregular forms in English, I have to change the entire form of the verb. So notice below, if I say she is, in order to say no, she no longer is, but I want to put it in the past tense, notice that my verb completely changes. So is changes to was. Same thing happens in Spanish. So if I said ella está, I'd have to say ella estuvo for my preterite. So I don't just add my normal endings like I'm used to, drop the AR and add the ending. I have a little bit of a stem change as well. So the EST is actually becoming estuv, E-S-T-U-V. All right, to help you out with these 5 verbs, I am going to classify them as U verbs. If you notice below in red, all of them have a U in their stem change. So the verbs estar, poder, poner, saber, and tener, all of these are irregular preterite verbs. In order to form these verbs, we have to change the stems. So we have a little bit of a spelling change. After that, we add our endings, but if you'll notice, since I have a mix of AR and ER verbs, I have completely different endings than we saw when we studied our regular verbs. So we do need to memorize these endings as well. So what's nice is they all have this unique stem, but they all take the following endings I have listed. All right, let's go over these stem changes. If you'll notice, the verb estar changes to estuv. Poder changes to pud. Poner changes to pus. Saber changes to sup. And tener changes to tuv. If I want to add my endings to make it a complete verb, I have iste, o, imos, istais, ieron. What's great is since I have to worry about all the stem changes and I have to worry about a whole new set of endings here, I don't need to worry about accents. You have no accents on any of these 5 verbs. Que bueno. All right, a couple examples using these. ¿Dónde pusiste mi cartera? This would be the to form, so I'm asking you, where did you put my wallet? Ella estuvo en casa ayer. She was at home yesterday. Quick note before we finish up here, the verb saber we know is the verb to know, specifically facts and information. We have conocer for people and places. Saber usually has a different meaning in the preterite. It actually changes from to know to find out. Down below, I have an example of this. Yo supe la verdad ayer. I found out the truth yesterday. I wouldn't say I know the truth yesterday. I found it out since it's over and done with. Excelente, chicos. Gracias por su atención. Please make sure you complete the Google form that has some practice using the irregular you verbs in conjugations. Excelente. Adios.